Hello, YouTube audience. Welcome to another episode of Concepts. I thought I'd try something a little bit different this time, and that is allow you to see my face while I work. I don't really know how this is going to work. It's going to be a little bit different because obviously I'll be focusing on painting, and I might drift in and out of the camera. You can see behind me I put up like a little drop cloth so you don't get to see my dirty room. But I was thinking, as I was watching other YouTubers, and as I've watched them over the past few years, that I identify and I enjoy watching videos with people's faces. And you know, the human face has so much emotion, and the eyes are where you make connections with people, you know, seeing the expressions on their face. So I thought, you know, this could add to it, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe this doesn't, but we will see. So when I first start one of these digital paintings, I just break the image down. I've got my reference image over here, which you can't see, and I just break it down into basic colors. I try to limit myself to about 6 or 7 colors that I know that I'll use, and I'm going to start with the dark ones, and I put them on a separate layer, which is like my palette, so that I can just easily refer to them without going back and getting the color palette, the little color window open, because that would be way too time consuming. So I usually pick, that'll be like the second to darkest, like close to black. I don't ever do full black, but like a dark red that's really close to black, and then maybe like a orangey red. I'm glad this is going to be a time-lapse video too, because the drawing usually takes, or the painting usually takes about, I think that'll work, about an hour to an hour and a half, so there's no way I'm uploading an hour and a half video to YouTube. So I'll just fast forward in certain parts that get boring, like maybe this part right here. I also don't like to go white. I usually pick like a creamy, like a orange tangerine-y kind of white color, and then usually some kind of cool color to like throw it all off. Not too cool. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. Alright, so we're all ready to go. Lock that layer. Work on this layer. I only work on, as you may have noticed, one layer, and I merge everything to it. I don't like working with layers when I'm doing stuff like this because to me it's supposed to replicate like an oil painting or painting in oil, so like I like the colors to merge, and when you paint on layers, like you don't pick up the colors underneath it, you just kind of blur and smooth, and when you're painting, I don't know, it just works better for me. Plus, when I work on layers, I overthink things, and I get confused pretty easily. I'm not very bright. Alright, let's start this bad boy. I'm not going to tell you who it is, because, like I said in other videos, I like people to be able to kind of guess as it goes along. And these are not I don't spend you'll see I don't spend a whole bunch of time trying to get down the proportions, because that's not really important to me, and I already made a mistake. I need this to be I need it to be smaller. The one thing I did on the last drawing was I kind of worked more with big shapes. So I'm going to try that again because I kind of like the way that worked out. That way I can just focus on kind of unfocusing my eyes and seeing the shapes, the relationship of the proportions as far as shapes are concerned, instead of trying to like outline every little feature, which is much harder to do for me. I might make weird faces. I don't know. This will be interesting to see because I've never seen me when I paint. But I might make really unusual faces. I hope not. I also think I figured out how to keep the cursor on the screen so you guys can see exactly what size brush I'm using. I hope that it just, when I time-lapse portions, I hope it doesn't bounce all over the place and flicker and cause problems. We shall see, though. We shall see. I also usually listen to music when I do this, but I didn't want it to be... I didn't want to cause more problems. If this works out, I'll listen to music next time. Oh, I'm using my Wacom tablet. It's an older one in Intuos. I think it's like the medium size. I think they make one smaller. Maybe it's a small size. I don't really know. I also wanted to talk while I'm doing this because I think the perception, at least the perception I get when I watch speed paintings, is that it's easy to think that some of these artists, you know, they do it almost effortlessly because it's going so quickly and you don't see very many of their mistakes, probably because they didn't make any or because more likely they just fast forwarded them so fast, like you didn't catch them. So I wanted it to you to know that this isn't like, it's not I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's not like easy. It's not just a formulaic thing. I can't just repeat the same process over and over and get good. Like, I'm not happy with the results. Each face and each painting holds its own triumphs and failures and problems and happy mistakes. So I'm hoping with the camera and the ability to kind of slow down the video as I speak about the painting, it'll better portray or convey, I guess is the word I'm looking for, a sense of growing or like figuring it out. Like it's a process. It's a process. I was thinking about just like having an accent this whole time and pretending, because that would be awesome if I had an accent, but there's no way I could carry that on, especially if I continue this. I'm not good with accents. I wish I had an accent. I'm gonna cut this out. This section is stupid. There's always a point when I'm painting these, and I think when I add like a specific detail, I think, oh, you know, it's going to be easy to tell who it is at that point. And as I add these eyes in, that's what I think. I think, oh, now is when, if somebody's going to guess it, they're probably going to guess it at this point. But then again, I watch it later, and it's like, as I'm watching, I'm like, I can't tell. I still can't tell who that is. Sometimes even when it's done, I can't tell. That's the importance of being able to get up and walk away and get a fresh perspective. I don't have that with these little videos because I just do them in an hour increment, so I don't get that fresh look that's so helpful. It's important to have colors, or to choose colors at the beginning that work well together. Like if I was using a cool white color, like a cool white, it would like gray up everything. Like that's the effect I wanted in the hair. I wanted it to look gray and around the mouth because there are a lot of grays in skin, but not on these highlights. So understanding color, how colors work, I've found just recently is such a huge helpful thing. And I don't understand colors. I wish I did a lot better. I wish I hadn't blown off those color theory classes I took in college. Let's just make this part dark. Can you tell who that is? I think you could tell by now. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'm nuts. Maybe I'm crazy. Crazy guy. You're a crazy guy. It's interesting when you start focusing on a color like this cool blue or gray, where you find it in the face. Like when I first looked at the face, I didn't really see a whole lot of gray in it. But now that I'm focusing on this color, it's like, oh look, there's some underneath the eyes, and there's some around the nose. Not around the nose, but there's some above the lip. And like where his 5 o'clock shadow would be. And then even, yeah, right there. I already said under the eyes. Okay. This part's not right. $100. What is going on? 100. Why did my brush switch? I feel like the nose isn't big enough either. I didn't get a good color red either. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. And I don't want to be doing 100% this. Put this yellow in here. I've noticed when I'm oil painting, I think it's different with this digital because the colors mix so perfectly, and that I can overlay a color and it changes all the colors slightly. But when I'm oil painting, adding another color, or adding a variety, like a whole new color to the layer, creates depth that was missing. It's really hard, I'm finding, to get the depth that I'm looking for in an oil painting. And I think I've noticed that when I add these colors, like a whole new color, like I use much more than 4 or 5 colors in my oil painting palette. It's different digitally because, I mean, it like creates every possible gradient of color, whereas on the canvas it doesn't really work like that. At least not the way I paint.